Semi-finals of the Kung Fu Cup. As in the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player, give it up if you're cheering on the Afrika Freak soO. As in the bottom right, it is our red Terran player, TY. So, a best of 3 semi-finals, Kung Fu Cup action. Today's Kung Fu Cup stacked, by the way, if you're just tuning in. TY's run. Cyan 2-0, we actually saw TY earlier today. Then he beat Lero 2-0 and then Dream 2-1. Dream who had to take out Hurricane to get there. soO's run is pretty sick as well, though. 2-0 Silky, who's a great Chinese player. 2-0 against Zest, and then 2-0 DRG, a DRG who took out Innovation 2-0. I mean, this has just been a hell of a section of the bracket, and good effort from both players to make it here for what is a very entertaining TVZ best of 3. soO has been extremely cautious of proxy racks. Of course, you guys enjoy this game, and this is on YouTube because it's a good series. Again, as always, I please just ask you to take a moment to hit the like button on the video. It really just takes a couple moments and helps us out a whole bunch. And of course, if you enjoy the content, we upload a great video a day on the YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button as well. And if you're watching on Twitch, hit that follow button. See when we go live, we cast a lot. Going to be casting more and more once now that DreamHack's going to start settling down over the next week or so. So yeah, that's more or less where we are. That's more or less where we stand right now. As we get set up, spawning pool will complete. A queen on the way out. A couple of queens coming through. Nothing really to talk about just yet. It's going to be a 3CC from TY if he doesn't take that gas very soon, which is not out of the ordinary. That's a very TY thing to do. I do expect TY just to play bio in these games. I know TY is not afraid to play mech, but mech really has taken a big step away in the metagame, so would be kind of surprised to see, you know, Battlecruiser after 3CC and all of that kind of stuff. So just kind of expecting big bio plays out of TY in this one. It's kind of hard to put a judgment call on where soO is at right now. I feel like soO's been very scary again this last few months, and I really wouldn't want to have to like predict this series or anything, so thank goodness it isn't a DreamHack match where we're forced to do predictions, because I really feel like this could go any which way. Let's see how Reaper setting out the front. The third CC going down, Starport getting going, link speed on the way from soO, and just having our queen coming up through to the top side. So, Reaper is going to be taking a little bit of damage. And the Overlord speed building on the main base. Starport is the next step, and like I said, really expecting this to be a tech lab soon, but it is not. So maybe the tech lab builds on the Starport, and then we do see a fusion core. Whoa, I think it is. This SCV is going to go hide. It is a fusion core, so I will admit defeat, and my prediction was not really expecting this in the slightest. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, really. And I guess this means we're going to see... We don't see a lot of BC in the bio. Like, it became popular again for, like, a little while. It really phased out once more. Just going to see our queen picking away at the Hellion and just seeing 2 more Hellions coming through with this Overlord. Moving into the main base. Trying to see what is going on. Gets to see the fusion core, and that's obviously a great scout, because now soO is not going to be caught off guard by this battlecruiser in the slightest. Can be very well aware of what is happening. So you can go into the faster lair, the faster spire. TY will start up that BC. So expensive, the BC, by the way. 300 gas is just extortionate. But of course, it's meant to be a very late game unit, so early in the game that does feel very expensive, and that's why it's kind of, you know, necessary that it gets some damage done. As these Hellions kind of come running through, going for a few of those drones, queens, and lings showing up as well, and the Hellions do get pushed away. Ling's trying to chase. Hellions kind of getting caught right now. Let's see how drones continuing through as our lab build and finishing in the main. Yamato cannon getting started and the few Lings continuing to run around. I mean, honestly, has not been pretty for TY. He's lost the Hellions. He's had his BC scouted. It's just not really been the opening he's looking for. The only good thing right now is there's a layer down and the Spire hadn't started yet. Problem is, I wonder if TY is even brave enough to teleport the BC across. He is. It's a good call. The Spire only just started, so he's got time to come in and harass without having to just run the BC across the map, which you'd want to do if the Spire was further along, because otherwise if you teleport in, the Spire's further along, that BC will not have a teleport out. Good map for BCs, and lots of dead airspace they can sit in once they trade out a bit. I'm a little skeptical about running down this side. He is getting a lot of drone damage though on the third base. The Hellions coming in big time. He's 14 drones in total. I was a little worried about this BC getting away, but it is going to get out of there alive too. 14 drones, not bad for TY, and that is the sort of damage he needed to put him in a bit more of a playable position here, especially after being scouted early. It was just not feeling great in terms of would it happen or not. So also get away here now. This BC is out of there. And there's a couple of Marines just going to come on through. And pushing his Overlord around. Ling's getting chased away up the right. Just going to be seeing our melee upgrades then from soO. So he's going to stick to this kind of Mutaling Bane style. It's kind of weird because we haven't seen a lot of mech lately. We haven't seen how a lot of the Zerg players have been playing against the mech. So it's kind of strange. I'm interested as to how exactly this continues, in fact, because I really see this being a very, the Ling Bane style with the Mutas. The idea is the Mutas take control of the map, they shut down BCs, they stop the Terran from expanding quickly so the Ling Bane can just overwhelm and just trade out against the economy of the Terran, and eventually the Terran falls apart. But like I say, we've not seen too much of this lately, so I wonder how well practiced TY is against it. I wonder how well practiced soO is at doing it again, because it has been just a bio-focused meta for a while. And it is a bit of a fragile style to play. You take some bad trades, you fight in the wrong places at the wrong times, and you can absolutely fall apart. So there's a couple things to worry about as Widow Mine gets picked off. A couple of Yamatos to shut these meters down. And these meters get chased away into the center. So yeah, obviously the Mutas, they're gonna, well, the fourth base gets up without issue. The Mutas do maybe need to make an attempt to shut down a fifth base. Obviously we're not talking about that just yet, but looking ahead in the game, that's going to be one of the big goals here of soO. If you don't deny the fifth base, you're just in a lot of trouble, quite frankly. As these Lings and these Mutas work their way through the rocks, we'll take them down. Baneling's morphing in, a whole bunch of extra Lings hanging out on that right side, and gonna see a Widow Mine already burrowing up, connects in on a Mutalisk. The BC's at the left gonna get some creep, and obviously they're gonna pull the Mutas out over in this direction. They're gonna get a few drones as well, so good little move. Gets a few drones, probably gonna trade out for a couple of Mutas as well. As he starts to slowly just teleport them back one at a time. He's actually gonna get quite a lot of Mutalisks with this. This actually turned out to be real good. So our BCs teleport away as our Lings and our Banes continuing over on that right hand side. Another command center from TY in the 6 o'clock location. A hatchery of soO in the upper right. SOO's infestation pit in the main base as we've got Mutas continuing around the map, and well, Widow Mines to be cautious of here. Gets one of them pretty quickly. The other few Hellions from TY moving around to the left, and obviously the game slows down a bit because, well, from TY's point of view at least, because he doesn't really want to go anywhere. He knows moving out on the map is dangerous against this kind of Mutaling Bane army. And the thing is, from soO, 4 bases isn't quite what you're looking to deny. You're looking to deny 5. I like to see soO put a bit of money into teching up. because I do fear that TY is just playing this correctly to the point where I don't know how many options soO is going to find. And there is the Hive, so he is teching up. I like that. Vipers are going to be very good in this. Sometimes you do even add on Ultras as the Thor's fight Mutas off. Sometimes you do even add on the Ultras because it's kind of that same idea of you're just trying to trade out with the Terran economy, and the Ultras are very good at that. The Ultras are very good at just headbutting the Terran economy again and again and just throwing themselves at it, as we see even more Banelings showing up, but these BCs do a pretty decent job of cleaning out. 15 SCVs going down. Lings and Mutas in the bottom left as they push a CC back just that little bit extra, a little bit further. Hive of soO building in the main base. Let's see a whole bunch of extra Banes just continuing to morph on that far left side. As the Hive finishes, then let's see if it's the Ultra Cavern that goes down. To me, that makes the most sense. Ultra Cavern, even Vipers right now don't make too much sense because there's not a lot to actually do with the Vipers. What are you going to do? Like abduct a Thor? The army you're playing with doesn't really need abduct, so if there was tanks, I'd get, be like, oh yeah, Vipers and Blighting Clouds, and there will be tanks soon, but on the current map, there's not a single siege tank, so I like the Ultras. It's a preference here. All of the melee and adrenal gland upgrades, getting those Lings and just Banes up to power as best as possible. Couple of Hellbats pushing through and getting rid of some of the crew spread already. Lings, Banes, Mutas starting to roll on in. The Mutas take some big shots from the Thors initially. The Thors are pretty well split as the Banes connecting in. There's not going to be that much left over. The last few Thors are a little bit stacked up, but they will survive. And that was a really good fight for TY. I mean, this is obviously kind of what you expect to be happening. You're expecting this Zerg army to run in, trade horribly, and then trade again. The issue is soO has not denied the bottom left base, right? The bottom left base still stands, and as long as the bottom left base stands, I do not like this in the slightest for soO, because it feels like TY will have too much eco off 5 bases for this to be realistically working out in the slightest. So yeah, I do not like where we're at right now for soO. 29 more Banes is getting ready to go for another round of this. I'd like to see these Thors repaired up. No reason not to get them repaired. And BCs take a moment to go forward. You know what's interesting is that the Muta count's only at 11, so the BCs can actually just move forward quite freely at the moment. A few more were just made. They're actually going to find themselves on this rich Vespine Basin. I think that might be a denial. Depends what he goes for. He gets the cancel and will then just trade out with the Mutas. And as the Queen's coming in, actually putting in some really good transfusions. A couple of Yamatos come in. I mean, the problem is once you start losing some of these Mutas, you lose the damage output to get rid of the rest of the BCs. One BC goes down. I mean, it's an extremely expensive trade out. Yeah, the BCs are going to die. That teleport's on cooldown. If these Queens weren't here, this would have been so good for TY. It was the Queens that really saved the Mutalisks. I mean, how many Mutas are we left with? 8? So, think about this. That was 11 Mutas dead, because we started with 11, 8 more in production, and we're left with 8. So 11 Mutas go down to finally kill the BCs, and that's with a lot of really good Queen transfusions, keeping them alive even longer. That had some serious potential. Some really serious potential as Bane Muta makes its way down the bottom. You're seeing this army continuing to move around as Mutas find a few more Hellions here. Cyclones get a lock on or two, and Muta's getting chased away. Banes are going to go rolling forward there, and a bunch of Hellions being picked up. Cyclone setting up once again as more Mutas coming now. +3 flyer attack on the Spire, and extra Cyclones, mines, and mud turrets are all stuck in production. Vikings getting another Overlord here, and we'll see our Ultras and Queens joining together. Extra Cyclones on the way out. That flyer attack upgrade on the Spire, +3. Going to be done in a few moments with the Neosteel armor about to complete. 3-3 plating and weapons still coming through. I mean, this TY army just getting more and more powerful. The thing is, you might be like, oh, TY, all you're doing is sitting back, you're not attacking, you're not doing it. But he doesn't need to. Because the fights that soO takes into TY's army are just not good. They're expensive. And as long as TY holds 5 bases, he does not really need to be anywhere else, as these Vikings are a pretty fun mobile answer to the Mutalisks. Working out just on that right side. I think obviously he wants to try and stop any sort of drop play coming in there and so on, but yeah. Chen burrows these Widow Mines for a few moments, and what I don't really like is that there's no step behind the Ultras. And I really feel like soO should have been able to identify that this just wasn't working as well as it should be early enough. And so now should look at this and be like, right, well, I need to maybe do something about that as that hatchery goes down. These Cyclones going to be splitting away. A few of the Banes connecting in. Ultras kind of show up onto the Thors in the background. I mean, the Cyclones here are going to get the Ultras, but now the Mutas are able to actually show up as well, and they did pretty good. That went a bit better than expected, I feel, although all the Ultras going down, it's still expensive. That is for sure. Obviously, soO on 100 drones has the money in the bank to rebuild instantly, but a few more fights like that, and you really do just lose that bank. You really do lose the ability to rebuild, and again, that's where TY really takes a very strong position in this game, as it looks like he's already making a bid for this right side base, which is very adventurous and very brazen of him. And the fact that he's taking that right side base before the left find out means he's now trying to defend two completely different sides of the map against an extremely mobile army. Things continue to roll in. Widow Mines going off. We do see a couple more Banes getting finished off there, and soO getting turned around once more, and then the Baneling killed as the Ultra backs away up through to the top side. His Bane's having a bit of a weird time. It feels like they can't quite find what they want to connect onto, and at the same time, TY can't quite clean them out. As getting a little choked up here, lifts the orbital to help escape. Too many Banes connect, and that could be problematic, as it's going to be a cleanup on everything that pushes in. soO, 25 more Mutalisks, but actually TY's building Liberators. They're probably, to be used against the Ultras, but actually they could be really good against this amount of Mutas. Problem is, it's not enough Liberators yet, but it's still the start of something. Extremely heavy on the Mutalisks. I mean, a lot more Cyclones on the way. Problem is, Cyclones are not great against the Mutas on their own. Generally, especially against like a massive Mutalisks, you kind of want the Thors to be able to deal that splash damage, etc. That doesn't really look to be the case here, as this left side base is hit by a couple tanks. Just a little bit of annoyance, nothing too spectacular. Yeah, those Libs on siege, as the Cyclone's going to get lock-ons. Widow Mine's going to try and burrow up. They actually get some connections in to help out, but it's very tough to tell what's really going on. I mean, I think the Mutas are going to clean up, but there's a lot of Mutas that have died, so I think realistically reinforcements are going to do pretty well here. Oh my god, the Widow Mines just keep going off on Overseers, but they are splashing the Mutas, and these Mutas are going to die. There's not enough of them left. This Widow Mine shot. Oh my god. Oh my god. soO's on 112 supply, and it feels like he doesn't know what to build. The Mutas did not do enough. He was hoping those Mutas were going to tear everything down and open up a chance. I mean, he actually got supply blocked massively. 140 over 140. And he's building another round of Mutas. If he built another round of Mutas immediately and went for it, I maybe could have agreed. But now another round of Mutas? I don't think so. I don't think there's really a chance, is there? Surely there's no way another... I mean, 34 more? Even then, I'm still kind of doubting it. 34 plus the 3, that's 37. We add 8 more on top of that. 45 Mutas are going to be on this map. Are 45 Mutas anywhere near enough? I don't think so. I mean, sorry, I'm trying to process it in my mind. I'm trying to figure out if there is maybe a way, but I really don't know if there is. Widow Mines burrow up. Spines firing here. The Cyclone's getting another lock on and keeping those Mutas at bay for a little while longer. All of these Hellions up the left side. A lot more drones being picked away at. Liberator's going to siege the space. That's the issue right now. TY's realized that he's taking control of the game, and so he's just doing so much everywhere. I mean, these are missile turrets that get picked off, yes, but they trade out for a good amount of Mutas. At the same time, you've got this attack over here that's not really being handled properly at all. And you're just going to lose this base. Yeah, okay, you take down the right side base of the Terran player, but Again, it's coming at a huge cost. We said there was 45 meters. Now there's only 38 remaining. 12 more in production. Our resources lost at 11k difference, and not mining off the left or right extreme bases is now just going to be a problem for soO. He just can't really afford to keep rebuilding at all. The flock of mutas trying to find a little more. Widow Mine goes off, but there's actually no overseer with the mutas either, so they can't even pick off Widow Mines at the moment. Reinforcements will clean out on the left side, but TUI, I love that he's just adding a load of Widow Mines, because I feel like with the kind of army he's playing, it's almost impossible for those mutas to just find the Widow Mines in a fight. And the mutas are really relying on the ability to just sort of move in, snipe down a bunch of stuff here and there, and then move out again. Well, as the Liberators doing some good damage, we do see the mutas are actually going to be able to get this planetary. I mean, the mutas are very low HP, but still alive. I mean, that's what counts. They do regen pretty quick, of course, when they get the chance. Bit of chaos over here. A few Lings showing up, and Hellions are finally going to show themselves to shut it down. soO still has a bank, and TY doesn't, and that's what scares me the most. The TY is struggling just a little bit for money. Like, not massively. It's not a major issue. God, these Widow Mines keep getting so much damage done every time. I mean, that was another Mutalisk massacre. Half the Mutalisk count. From the high 30s to 40 to 19. 100 mutas are lost in this game. Oh my god. That's 10,000 minerals and gas of Mutalisks that have died. 100 mutas! Take a moment to think about that as soO comes in, snipes down a tank. Goes in for these missile turrets, finds another tank for the left side. And they're still finding openings, they're still finding chances to deal damage. Oh, the bait here is kind of nice. The idea of like baiting onto these Widow Mines with the orbital. You're like, oh, I want to go kill the orbital. Oh my god, he ate the first Widow Mine shot though. He obviously knows that stuff is going on over there as the mutas or the Widow Mines are there. So soO plays pretty cautiously around that. Mutas are now going to find a Rax on the far left-hand side. 23-minute game on Death, or it's been everything we wanted from the semifinals so far, and it's only game one. It does feel like TY is edging out this game, though. soO has so little left when it comes to rebuilding. These bases are coming back online, and that's important, but even this base only has 400 gas left on it. This left base is more important, but still only 1,000 gas. It's the rich Vespene bases that have all of the gas that really kind of remains in this game. Problem is, obviously, getting the rich Vespene bases is not easy, as missile turrets are actually, again, doing pretty okay, right? Like, they clean out a fair amount of the mutas for what they are and what they cost. Let's see, Lingbane trying to hit this bottom side. There are a few of the Widow Mines we saw earlier trying to hit mutas that do okay against the units that show up. I do like this higher Liberator count. I feel like that's terrifying for the muta player to go up against. This time soO's going to rebuild 44 more Zerglings. I feel like soO's not built anything but mutas. I mean, I know he must have done because he has had Ling and Bane on the ground, but it feels like I've only ever seen mutas on the production tab for the last few minutes, so good to see that changing up just a little bit as Lings popping out, Hellions and Cyclones cleaning up. He's coming in. Another couple of Widow Mines doing good damage here as he cleans out this defensive planetary fortress position. I mean, it will go down. There's surely no SCVs nearby to save that. I don't even know what you really wanted for anymore as TY. I don't know if it's really going to come down to that kind of a game any longer. Bane's going to go rolling through. The Thors actually in some trouble as the Banes crash in. The Thors take a ton of damage. One of them went down and the rest, well, battered, but it's expensive, right? There's a lot of Banes that are difficult to replace when you look at soO's money. And he's losing the one base we mentioned was so very important. This base here is the one that actually has a lot of actual potential mining still on it. And it's gone. Another attempt on this right-hand side as the Libs show up, though. And again, those Liberators, I think, are just scary. And soO knows it. He's just going to leave the game. Doesn't even give us the justice of seeing one more kind of flock of mutas dying. Terror fans around the world celebrate TY's win, but I feel like we would have liked to see another round of mutas die. As soO, his game plan didn't work out here. He wanted to control the game. He didn't control it well enough, and TY gets away with playing very defensively and winning out in the late game. As we do have in the bottom left-hand side, down a game is the red Zerg played from the Afrika Freaks. This is soO. And a sick game, honestly, from TY, our blue Terran in the bottom right-hand side. Let's get into our next game. And do you wonder how this is likely to go, actually? Because I could kind of see TY playing mech here. It is a really good biomap, though. Yeah, I could see kind of either or, in all honesty, so not really sure what to expect out of this one just yet. Overlord into the center, and the spawning pool is about to complete. Hatchery onto the natural. It's an early pool, so it's going to get some lings out initially, and that could scare TY into a defensive setup. Obviously, the pool first is always going to be something that then the Reaper has to pull back against. You don't get confirmed scan of if there's a roach roaring or not. So you do maybe have to play a little bit afraid and a little bit scared as TY. This is unlikely to be a roach roaring because it was pool hatch, then the gas, not a gas pool hatch. So the roaches are less likely to come, but they could. And that's the thing is, TY, you can't just completely disregard them because obviously we see that they aren't coming and are unlikely to happen. But TY, what he sees, he doesn't get enough information because of having to pull the Reaper back home to be like, right, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. Unless he just goes straight into this main base, and he doesn't care about these lings. There's one Marine building at home, 4 lings about to show up into the natural. And we'll see if the Reaper wants to turn around. Reaper might just let the Marine... Oh, the Marine mistargeted. Oh, no, it targeted the rocks. Okay, so you see what I mean. Reaper has to turn around after seeing the hatch. And now you don't know if there's a gas or not. Losing the Marine really sucks. That's very unfortunate as... the 2 lings are actually going to hide away for the moment. Just keep themselves hidden. Gets an SCV kill. Obviously likely to get another one as the other 2 lings are showing up and these SCVs going to go running. Did the Reaper go back? The Reaper went back, so the Reaper tried to get up to scout. He put a bit of damage on. I think he feels pretty safe. There's no roaches coming. The problem is he thought there was only 1 ling left, so the other 2 lings showing up really put kind of a dampener on his plans. And now this command center is still not building, so soO's played this well. And this is why he hid those 2 lings previously, because it made TY believe he could keep the Reaper across the map. And by keeping the Reaper across the map, he didn't gain much more, but he lost a lot more building time on that command center, and that is a huge deal. Finally, our command center finishes. I want to say about 40 seconds delayed. It's a huge delay, and soO goes straight to a lair behind this on 2 bases. It's a great map for the early Mutalist play. You always have this safe haven of the bottom half of the map to just hide your Mutas in, to run away with if you want to just get them out of there and just, pay attention to macro back at home for a moment or whatever. It could honestly, off a start like this, just be something like a Nidus and to try and end the game, but what's that gas count out? 2 gases, no roach roaring just yet. I think it's more likely just to be the Spire and take 2 more gases as the Spire drops. Two factories from TY. So he's going to try and play mech off of not even a battlecruiser opener, which I always feel is very brave to try and do, because there's a reason you do see mech off the BC opener so often. Nice scout of the Spire. As these Hellions get in, there's honestly not that many Zerglings here. The defense so far has been very good considering. As he's actually going to get a few more drones. Oh my god, he actually gets 8 workers with 3 Hellions. Wow, that's amazing from TY. What a way to maybe equal things out a bit. Seize the Spire as well. But to go back to my previous thought process that I was just making my way through. The factory is straight away, no BCs. It's hard to play this because the mech really relies on the BCs to be that harassing set of units on the map already. To be kind of controlling the map, to be keeping an eye on things, to keep the Zerg busy. It gives you the freedom as the mech player to really get on the map and to really set up and build up into your powerful stage of the game. Well, drones going down. These Hellions obviously not quite as successful. But, yeah, so I'm just interested to see what TY can do with the mech. I mean, the good news is he did get some of those worker kills, and I think if he didn't get any of those worker kills, he would have been in a lot of trouble. A third hatchery of soO to the left-hand side. Failing nest finishing from soO on the natural, and the few Hellions still just in the middle of the map. With an orbital of TY, gonna go take the gold base, and missile turret will start to build. Oh. The other thing about playing mech is that one of the powerful things on Golden Wall is the gold base, right? And the gold base gives you that boosted mineral income, but mech doesn't really usually need a boosted mineral income. Usually mech needs as much gas as possible. And so even with the boosted mineral income, the other thing about this base that doesn't really make much sense for mech is that there's only one gas on it. So unless TY is going to play like a very Hellion heavy style, very gas weak mech army, he's going to be in a really odd position with an excess of minerals and a lack of gas compared to what he would usually have taking any other base in any other game as his third. So it really is a weird situation for TY. Just get there, they pick off another SCV. Going back through into the middle, Hellions and Cyclones moving through the couple of factories of TY, building in the main base. Oh my god, oh my god! Those lock-ons are pretty crazy. Tell you what, this push to TY is kind of scary, and suddenly soO is supply blocked as well. soO doesn't have an army. Oh, TY, you don't realize that soO doesn't have an army. He doesn't realize soO is supply blocked. This was actually the moment. Holy shit, soO is so lucky. He was about to die. I actually think TY could have just gone in and just won the game. There's like 10 lings on the map. Some mutas that were all super low HP already. Cyclone's getting here, pushing the mutas down the bottom. We do have the 14 drones in production. So 14 workers coming up with the melee upgrades still coming through. Extractors, creep tumors, continuing to build. Hellions of TY will go out up through the top side. They're going to hang around on the 12 o'clock. Fancy coming through as a do see Hellions getting a little surrounded here. The Ling's getting a good surround to shut down those Hellions. The Hellions being picked away at and just going to be seeing the mutas of soO. They are going to take their way down to the bottom right side of the map. So making their way out down the bottom right, trying to figure out where exactly they want to go. Command center of TY will get to the right-hand side, and we do have plenty of mutas, and then Overseer just continue to fly around. Hellions and Cyclones in the center. That's another Marine, and again, those factories still just on the way out right now as the mules will get to mining on the right-hand side. So, and that's set up. We're going to see a changeling here, which will get picked off as well. This Widow Mine gets straight in and does pretty well. A couple more factories. I mean, TY is honestly going to make a game out of this, even without the battle cruisers. He obviously maybe had a moment to get in there and do a lot more damage, but you know, I think it's all okay. As long as TY is surviving, I think he's kind of happy with the current situation, the current state of the game. My only fear is that soO really needs to make a better effort at denying the 5th base than he did last time. Last time the 5th base denial was obviously it just didn't, there wasn't even an attempt at it. The 5th base just got up and running. It was that extra boost of mining from TY that really allowed him to trade, you know, to stay in the game against a base soO who had 100 drones and so many bases. As you're going to be seeing the Lings and Banes running through on this. 11 SCVs going down as the MUTAs showing up on the bottom right. That's 12 workers killed, actually. MUTAs do get a tech lab picked off. Smart Servos is denied this. That upgrade goes down. I mean, nice dive into the main from the MUTAs. And I like this, really slowing TY down on 4 bases, stopping him from getting to 5 bases as easily or as well positioned. So I like that a lot. I feel like that's the sort of thing you need here as soO to make this a bit better. And now Cyclone's not moving away. It definitely helps as well. That's also, though, a lot of Hellions against Ling Bane. Wouldn't mind helping out. And yeah, the Hellions do such a good job over here. The Banes turn around once again. Just a few Hellions slip back to get picked off from them. I'm just going to see our Ling Bane army continuing through the center of the map. 6 more MUTAs in production as you see our army into the middle here. Hellions, Cyclones, all setting up the Thors here, pushing the Overlord away through the top side. MUTA Overseer army still collecting together as well, and into the middle of the map we go. These creep tumors continuing to be picked away at. Cyclone's getting some good lock-ons. Love the Thor shots, putting the MUTAs into low HP. I mean, TY very aggressive on the map, pushing a lot of the creep spread away. And here is that attempt of the ever-important base number 5. Talked a lot about it in this series so far, but it has been kind of the biggest talking point. It's been the important factor. It's been the game changer. Let's see if it gets up this time around. soO sends the MUTAs around the bottom, looking for a counter as Banes up here actually trading pretty well. MUTAs maybe wanting to go in onto that gold base mineral line also, as you see a few of the Hellbats in the front with the Thor to try and tank. Oh, actually tanking a whole bunch of Baneling connections there, but it's difficult for TY to properly get up the ramp into this base, and that's his issue, that he's trying to get up here, he just can't quite make it in time. The MUTAs are once again going through the bottom side of the map, and as the rocks get cleaned out, we will see a TY who is in a position to maybe get rid of this base. He just dive the gold base, and they dive it hard. A lot of SCVs already dropping. And plenty of Widowmine showing up as well. Drilling Claw's about to be done, and that Widowmine army will become much better then at being able to reposition at the very least. And the Cyclones tank a lot of shots. You know, I feel it's kind of noticeable is that the Banes are just kind of doing less damage to the mech units. I don't know if I'm just crazy or if, you know what I mean? Like, the Baneling change did go through since the last time I really saw Ling Bane MUTA versus mech, and it does feel like it's just taken a long time for these Thors and these Cyclones and so on to die. I don't know if that's just kind of my mind playing tricks on me, or some kind of weird psychology, or if it's actually the case in like a major way. It just feels like Banes are connecting in and stuff is surviving a lot of the Baneling shots, I guess. Missile turrets to push the MUTAs back. The Lings showing up here, and well, TY's army pushing through the middle. Lings all the way out over the left-hand side. The MUTAs of soO are going to turn back around up the left. Just going to see how Banes continue to roll into this right now. The Cyclone's spreading out. Again, that 5th base is up. TY really taking an aggressive stance, which I kind of like as well. Just, the confidence to kind of run into these fights and say, okay, well, let's go for it. Man, these Banes are just not killing anything. These Thors stand strong, and the MUTAs realizing they don't want to be part of that either. They're going to go for the counter. They're maybe at least going to be able to deny base 5. SCV save that missile turret for a few moments and helps get an extra kill or two. And even more Banes just rolling into a single Cyclone. And that's just, I mean, that's the issue, right? Like, these Cyclones are just tanking so many Bane shots. And these Thors actually going to stand up for themselves as well. The other Thors coming back. Cyclones are left here to try and fight off the Mutalists. Widowmine actually does a good starting job, and if the Cyclone's locked on there, they'll get a bunch of kills. I mean, that Muta count is being chipped away. I'm definitely nowhere near where it wants to be. 10 Mutas, they're just not scary. You see why I might give up this 5th base, but he's got an army that's still pushing through on the other side of the map and might just clean up in this race. The Widowmines feel like they're a bit treacherous there. hitting a lot of the Terran army, cleaning up the Banes before the, when they were in range of the Thors, so it didn't even really matter. Oh my god, these Thors are just honestly, they just aren't dying. TY just pushing in, and honestly, it feels like this might just be it. A few more Banes gonna try and show up. A lot of Thors still alive here, and Ling's going down. 26 SCVs have been killed, but TY has done so much across the map. soO doesn't have the lava to spend his money, so he's got money in the bank, but no production, no production ability, basically. And now, what do? Do you dive in with these mutas or so onto this army? I guess that's probably your best shot. With the Ling support, I guess it's not so bad, but even still, even if you clean out these Thors, you're getting a lot of your mutas cleaned out. I mean, it is scrappy from TY. He is going to lose a lot. Oh my god, but he kills like every single mutalist. A couple of reinforcing mutas showing up, and that's it. I mean, the mutas aren't even dealing damage to the cycle in this final one. TY, well played. It was a good call to stay on the map. He's going to get this base as well. And even though he lost a lot of workers, he's replaced this base with an orbital, and he's mining again. And soO is really just struggling again. Killing off all of those mutas really counts for quite a lot. I mean, you're never going to get, like, I mean, you're going to try to get a mutalist count up again. It's just going to be really difficult to make that mutalist count extremely, like, super terrifying. So these Widow Mines as well, they had a big role to play. They've had so many big connections on the muta pack. Really have multiple times just brought the mutas down super low in health. I mean, soO trying to take expansions on the bottom of the map. TY has not really thought about that at all, but I think he's starting to realize the possibility of what's happening. So he will go to the bottom side instead and look to fight over here with a lot of Cyclones. Only problem is it's a bit of a narrow area to move through, so he's a little bit concerned. Game doesn't end just yet as TY bringing his army back up the top. Hellions and Cyclones all joining up together. Good drones in the bottom left as these Hellions having a pretty good time, and off a few of them. Hellions will morph into Hellbats and pick their way through this hatchery. I'm gonna kill a queen, and these queens just do no damage at this stage of the game. No missile upgrades. They just don't. They don't have any damage output. They're doing like 4 damage a shot versus +3 plating. So they're doing +1 damage a shot, or doing 1 damage per hit. It just obviously doesn't do much to those Hellions. Missile turret again, and mutalist Thor coming in, getting a good shot off on the mutas. Pushing those back away down the bottom side of the map. I mean, now TY takes the top right base though as well. And that's huge. The fact that he's now up to 6 bases, right? Every base he takes, this game becomes way more difficult for soO to pull off. I mean, soO's chance is probably to play around this bottom side and to take these bases and hope that TY can't deny them, but TY's entire army is here. Problem is, soO's got to make a very early decision. He's going to decide to actually fight this instead of counterattack. Remember, these are orbitals, so they are really easily hit by Lings, but if your decision initially is to fight down here, then you're going to fight down here because the top right is so far away from any of your units right now. It's very hard to just suddenly be like, actually counterattack, which is apparently the idea of these mutas, is he realizes this fight is not going his way. It's really interesting. I really think these Banelings are just, the Baneling nerf has made this style just a little bit more unplayable. And I really just feel like this mech army is just surviving like every single fight I see it taking right now, which never used to be the case against Ling Bane Muta. This worked for a reason. soO's going to tap out the game. He knows he doesn't have anything left. And TY takes a 2-0. The mech is good. And TY goes to the grand finals against Trap here in the Kung Fu Cup.